Yo, 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 yo. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What you want to do? Morning. Top of the morning to you. Um, yeah. Well, first, before I get started, make sure you like and subscribe down below and hit the notification bell so you know when I'm online and you don't have to catch the replay. You can get it straight from the source. Yeah. Like I said, good morning and welcome to the channel. And you know how I do. I just like to get right into it. We're gonna start today with the news. And we try to stick to market news. News that kind of affects the market, which is seems to be everything these days. Just everything is just tied into the administration and the market right now. Um, and it hasn't been, there's been some good news. Like I said, Palantir, if you were able to get into that, you saw a nice 24% jump yesterday. You have some other stocks that didn't perform so well, just because of, the tariff news and stuff like that. But in today's news, um, Trump basically said he was gonna demolish and bulldoze the Gaza Strip and put up condos. Um, and if you've been following the news, that really isn't a surprise. But I don't, I guess let's look at the. I mean, it doesn't seem to affect the markets too much. S&P 500 is up, which is surprising. Um, Nasdaq is up. U.S. futures are up. Crude oil is down. Crude oil is down. Gold's up, and the euro is up, and the pound over the dollar, it is up as well. So, um, but Trump says U.S. Take over Gaza Strip, and that sparked a lot of debate, a lot of backlash, especially from the Palestinian side. Um, so Palestinian authorities and Saudi Arabia reject Trump's proposal. So I know that he said that maybe they would want to pay for it, or so I don't know. I don't know if he's clearing this stuff before he says it, or he's just shooting at the hip. But um but he did say that the US would take control of the devastated Gaza Strip. um I don't know what that means. Shunt the area's residents to another country and turn it into the Riviera. um the US will take over the Gaza Strip, Trump said Tuesday. So, like I said, that sparked a lot of backlash. I didn't see it do too much to the market yesterday, but he's citing pictures like this saying it's a dump, all this stuff. So we'll continue to follow that this morning and see if that affects anything. It doesn't seem to be doing anything right now. I'm sorry I haven't looked at the didn't have time to look at the euro markets to see what they're doing. Um, but in other news, a race to the border, manufacturers scramble under Trump's looming tariffs. So, even though the tariffs are paused, I think the the ball's been, it started rolling downhill. And so, you know, companies aren't confident that these tariffs won't be implemented at some point. Um, a lot of companies that I know of, um, you know, and let me kind of go back and explain this. Like, the way tariffs work is, I know you've heard, all kinds of stuff, but I'm directly involved in some of these conversations at a high level, and the tariffs are going to the consumer. Um, you know, Especially when you're talking about manufacturers, they can't absorb these type of, and they're probably already operating on low margins because they're the manufacturer. Their goal is to produce as much as possible. And, so they're not able to absorb these 25% tariffs. That's a lot. Just say you have a load coming across the border that's got $100,000 worth of invoice product in it. You're gonna have to pay $25,000 on top of that just to just to import it. So the the manufacturer is not going to take a hit of $25,000. Um, the importer of record is not going to take that kind of hit because they're also working with low margins. The only thing you can do is increase your prices by 25% and pass that on to the consumer. And 25% is kind of like a baseline because especially with stuff like that wasn't what they call non-dudable, meaning that it didn't have a tariff before. Um, a lot of the supply chains are set up to usually they have the minimum requirements needed because they don't have to worry about tariffs. So when you start introducing tariffs, then that changes the whole game. Your First of all, your bond is going to increase. The minimum bond is 50 grand. Um, for something for you to have a bond in place to import, that's going to go. I mean, that costs like $1,000, just say on the high end. Um, it's on the really high end. So now that bond may have to be $1 million, depending on how much you're bringing across and all this stuff. So it's really going to change the game here if these things go into get implemented. So this is definitely something to watch, like I said. But right now, manufacturers are just trying to ship as much as possible across the border to just to have inventory on this side, duty free, meaning no tariff owed on it, and just trying to stock up. So, but what that does, it creates bottlenecks at the border. And you can see here over a frantic 72 hours, President Trump, his threat of pushing new tariffs on Canada, yada yada yada. It also sent manufacturer businesses scrambling for cover. The North Carolina based maker of concrete equipment rushed to get its machines onto trucks bound for Canada. The CEO of the world's biggest producer embroidered patches had a of embroidered patches had a swap on Saturday night for dinner for the conference call with executives. So basically, like it sent these guys scrambling. I know CEOs all over are having these board meetings, and I know the consensus and you know um, probably the what am I trying to say, the outcome of these conversations was we can't afford this, pass it on to the consumer. The market's just going to have to go up. The market's going to have to bear it. So I know you've heard a lot of you know mis and disinformation on where those tariff charges would land, but it's going to be with the consumer. Like no business or no manufacturer in the world is going to take on those costs and survive. So there's a race to the border. Um, Canada eyes more ways to ship oil to China. So, a lot of their production, they're looking for other places to divert it, and China is going to be the benefactor of some of this. I mean, and it's going to create supply shortages on our side. Um, China's also weighing a probe into Apple's Apple Store App Store fees and practices. So this is all retaliatory based on um, you know the tariffs that have been implemented on China, 10%. Um, and he's also threatening the EU now, which he already was, but he's getting around to it. So Donald Trump's tariffs to hit EU with tariffs. I'm sorry, Donald Trump threats to hit EU with tariffs have left the bloc's leaders scrambling at the prospect of trade war with the U.S. Bloomberg's Caroline Helpker. So this is something I don't want to watch this or listen to it, but check it out if you want. Um, Disney beat expectations. Um, so they topped their estimates on gains from streaming, and Mona 2 revenue increased 5% to 24.7 billion in the first quarter. Period was third straight quarter of streaming profitability. So Disney's venture into streaming, it seems to be paying off. They're consistently beating earnings or finishing the quarters profitable. So a lot of people looked at Netflix's recent success or success over the last few years, especially with their market cap being the same as Disney's, I believe. That Disney was going to take some type of hit, um, but they seem to be doing pretty well in that space. And once they just probably have to figure out this movie thing, and a few other things, but they look to right now they're down. For some reason, the market didn't take that news too good. Right now they're down. Let me show you a trading view. Right now they're down pre-market to 111, so they're down off of the 113 close. So that's one to continue to watch, as we will do. But they did very fairly well on their numbers, which probably surprised a lot of people. I don't, like I said, I don't understand why it's down pre-market. So you got, like I said, you got more stuff on there. Must buy out basis. Musk is supposedly every employee of the CIA received a buyout offer from the Trump White House, and more specifically Doge. So the Central Intelligence Agency has offered staff buyouts to shrink the workforce in line with Trump's administration's broader job cuts across. I'm sorry, I can't read today. Broader job cuts across the government and to sharpen the spy services focus on top priorities like China. So they're getting rid of everybody. They're trying to pull out of all these shadow wars that we have going on, which it may be a good or bad thing. I don't know. I don't want to be political. I'm just kind of giving you the facts here, as I see them in the news as I see it. Um, so that's and John Ratcliffe is the President Trump's nominee for the CIA. So he promised in the Senate confirmation to focus on threats proposed by China. So I mean, this kind of fits right along. None of this is a surprise to me. They've said this from the jump, for years and years and years. This is what they wanted to do. But now the Democrats seem surprised, and a lot of people seem surprised that this stuff is happening. But they've been telling it for a while. Um, uh, Apollo plans to build the first marketplace for private credit. Apollo plans to Apollo Global Management is seeking to build a marketplace that would allow investors to buy and sell high grade private assets more easily, while sorry, while encroaching further into terrain once dominated by the big Wall Street firms. So I know you've seen these stocks, before, that you're like, man, I need to get into this stock. Everybody's talking about it, but you can't buy it. It's private or something like that, unless you're an accredited investor, over 100 grand and filling out all these documents and stuff like that. So, um, you know, Apollo Global is looking to make that easier for the average retail investor. Now, a lot of proponents of this say that it's going to cause added volatility into the market, because now you have all these people that don't really know what they're doing with that. So and as we take a look at Apollo Management, they're in a prime buy zone for me. Their earnings just came out. They beat earnings, smashed earnings by 17% on the earnings, and 0.27% on the revenue, which is equated to like 2.5 million. So that's pretty good. They have dividends coming up in on Tuesday, February the 18th. So payment date is the 28th. So if you're in by the 18th, they're paying a 46%, 46-cent dividend. So that's not something to balk at. And um, Deutsche Bank has lowered the target for Apollo Management to 184, down from 190. But right now the stock's at 161, so that's a hell of an increase, and we may get it on the next run to 196. So we're looking at a 261% retrace from here, which is possible, which is very possible. So like I said, Apollo Management, that's something to watch. We're actually gonna put that on the on our spec list here. Give me a second. You gotta catch them big specs if you know anything about that. But anyways, blah 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 blah. $80 billion diamond market crashes, leaving the beer. Like luxuries took a hit. Let me see. I seen that up here. Luxury, which usually does well. Um, I can't find it, but I know Louis Vuitton was down. A few other stocks were down. So that's kind of all for that I see. Kind of highlighting the market news. Um, Denmark increases scrutiny on Russia's shadow fleet tankers. Let's see. Yeah, we already talked about Apollo. All right, so world news. I'm just doing news because I got a little bit more time today. Um, oh, USAID. USAID is probably going to go away. Um, Staffers put on leave in order to return home within 30 days. So hopefully they're paying for those return trips. But I don't know much about the USAID. Um, there's a lot of people saying that it's, you know, Elon described it as a bowl of worms. Not even an apple. The worms have eaten the whole apple. They have about 10,000 employees of the United States Agency for International Development, excluding essential personnel. Were notified. 10,000 people were notified on Tuesday that they will be placed on administrative leave at the end of Friday. Like that's two. That's a lot of people. 10,000 people out of a job, um, and 2/3 of them work overseas across 60 countries. Like that's a major disruption. If you're one of these people, regardless of what they're doing, hopefully they're carrying out the proper mission. But they ended the message with "Thank you for your service." So like I said, a lot of people are up in arms about this. Saying that it's going to affect our national security. It's going to affect even our, supposedly this company buys a lot of goods from U.S. companies to send, overseas for aid and stuff like that. So, um, you know, we're definitely going to watch this. I don't know where the fallout's going to be. Something we'll research tonight, and hopefully we'll have it for the next stream. But um, that's 10,000 people. They just got notified that it may be over, likely over. Deportations of migrants started going to Guantanamo Bay. Um, yeah, so if you come in this country and illegally, you may end up in Guantanamo. Uh, the Chiefs are closing in on Super Bowl history. Why are ticket prices falling? Because people don't have money. People don't have money to. I mean, it's in New Orleans as well, so there's not a lot of fancy places to stay. So that probably um, detracts from some of the normal crowd. Trump is going to be there though. Um, wow, this is a big one here. About 100,000 eggs worth 40K stolen from trailer in Pennsylvania. Like that is crazy. Thieves post about 100,000 eggs on the back of a distribution trailer. Authorities in Pennsylvania say, "Boy, Philly, boy. Hopefully it's not Philly." The theft occurred around 8:40 p.m. Eggs are worth about 40 grand. So let's do the quick math here. 100,000 eggs, 40,000. That's 40 cents an egg. What's going on, Waffle House? Y'all charging 50 cents an egg. But anyways, but yeah, that's just people are theft is at an all time high. Um, yeah, so watch out for your eggs; they might get snatched up. Let's see here. Like I said, we already talked about the buyout offer. It's just offering buyouts for everybody, all across the board. Man, that's sad. The remains of the victims of uh, all the remains have been recovered. Um, Thankful for that for the victims, for the victims' families, so they can lay their loved ones to rest and properly. So definitely thankful that was done. Um, Pam Bondi's confirmation puts long time Trump ally at the helm. So she's likely going to get confirmed. No news there. Um, how Apple's, I don't know if you remember that Apple's Super Bowl ad in 1984. Um, yeah, it was like George Orwell's novel. Featured a Big Brother figure addressing hordes of subjects from a giant screen and a woman who escapes riot police to smash the screen with a hammer. Like that's like an iconic um, videos, a still from it right there. We don't want to play it because we don't want to get copywritten, but yeah, so that's history there. I don't know what they're talking about it, but we won't go too far into it. Yeah, so what else is new? Taylor Swift effect, who cares? Um, I've seen it all until this one. LeBron still reeling from blockbuster trade. Wow, LeBron didn't know anything about this. LeBron James faces a new reality in LA after being blindsided. Wow, LeBron was blindsided by this. I did not know that. The man who prides himself on seeing the plays 2 plays ahead couldn't see the biggest no-look pass in NBA history, as LeBron James still seemed to in a state of shock in the aftermath of the Luca trade. Yada 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 yada. He says, "I've seen it all until this one." James said, "I've never been part of a transaction like that. That was different. The word transaction feels so surreal. From James' perspective, yada yada yada. The two talked over FaceTime on Saturday night when James received the news at family dinner and said it didn't seem real until he saw Doncic around the team and Davis at a Dallas Mavericks shoot around in Philadelphia early in the day. That's when it finally hit me, like, oh shit, this is real," James said. Um, I call BS on that. I just don't feel like the Lakers kept LeBron James out of this. Like, we all know Anthony Davis wasn't gonna win he wasn't gonna win a championship with Anthony Davis. And he likely may not win a championship with Doncic, but at least it just starts something new. Like maybe they can get a big man in or something that trade deadline. I don't know when that ends, but maybe they can get something to come in and help them out on that. So I call BS on that. I don't think he didn't know. I think he probably orchestrated it, if you ask me. Uh Rubio touts El Salvador's offer to jail. Like they're talking about sending American citizens, the bad ones, over to El Salvador. You know, back in the day, we'll play this. Hopefully, there's no ads.
What's the difference
No, there's
between your local
ads.
liberty
Sorry,
tax?
but I don't know if you guys have seen that clip of one of the world's most notorious jails, but it's bad. You got guys in there with tattoos all over. I mean, it's a gang members you know place. Let's see what they're saying here.
Marco Rubio's whirlwind tour of Latin America. A potentially
We're buffering. We won't get into that, but basically, they're going to send American citizens over there to this terrible jail, and it's supposed to save a lot of money instead of paying for private prisons. So that means don't invest in private prisons. I know you probably thought that was going to be a banger for this administration, but it looks like they're going to ship them to less expensive private prisons in other countries. So if you can invest in those, invest in those. Let me see. Reportedly refund season ticket holders. Oh wow, Mavericks refunded season ticket holders. So yeah, I mean, we won't get too far into this. Um, I'm only gonna look at this story because one of the guys, actually one of the engineers or whatever you want to call him, that was able to write an algorithm that gives people a glimpse of what was on these tablets, and these tablets come from Mount Pompeo, from the volcano that erupted and like buried everybody and all that stuff. There was like this, there's like hundreds of scrolls that they recovered and that are like burnt to a crisp. But this guy wrote an algorithm that's able to read this, and they're able to get some words from it. But I won't say the key takeaway, but what makes this interesting is the engineer is one of the kids that is on the this guy here. It may not be that guy there, but one of the kids that started this is on. It works with Doge now, so that's kind of his you know um entry point into to Elon Musk's world of of brilliant people. So he worked his way all the way up to Doge, and this was an accomplishment that he did. So I guess that's all for news. I probably went a little too longer than I would like. So I'm gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back with the market. Peace. All right, all right, all right, all right. I had to take a quick break. Sorry about that. Like I said before, we get into it with the market. Um, yeah, make sure you're only invest in money that you don't want to see or that you're not dependent on, because I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make, and I made myself, is that you're trying to live or just try to do a quick flip, or you're chasing the cash. The best and easiest way to invest, or the most consistent way to invest, is don't worry about it. Put the money in. Just even if you don't know anything about stocks, just take you one or two or three stocks, take you $50 and just put it in there and just let it sit. When it goes down, just buy more. But those, when I say that, I mean good companies. Companies that you've heard of. Look at some of the stuff that you buy around the house. And research. I won't say research the company, but you don't have to do too much research. Just find out what the stock ticker is, throw you a few bucks in there, and just consistently put money in there so you build up your portfolio. So with that said, we go into our portfolio here. Some stuff that we have in our portfolio, and well, let's see here. Palantir continues to be our workhorse. And like they pre-market, they're down to 102. And yesterday I was waiting for more of a, I expected more of a pullback, just because, as you can see, it shot up like, as we know, 24% overnight, over the weekend, actually. No, it was overnight, one of the two. But once that happened, actually it was after their earnings on Monday. But normally when something like that happens, the FOMO kicks in, and people that have been, looking to take profit, they do so, and then it kind of falls almost as drastically as it rose. But you can see some profit taken here at 106. um, and then I think it fell to a low of about 100, and then I think people looked at that as a good buy point, a good entry, and they got back in. If you got 100 shares, that's a $600 swing there. So yeah, so we can. I mean, right now it's trading. There's a new anchor VWAP. You let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so you can see that. You see the new anchor VWAP has started. It's actually broken through the lower end and went back to the actual VWAP, and which is 103. It's pulled back a little bit, like I said, pre-market, but unless if it bounces off of here, it may start a downtrend back to 100. But if it breaks through, it's going to start trading on the uptrend, on the upside here, and probably go flat for a little bit before it tries to hit some of these numbers like 110 or 117. So 117 is my next recommendation. It's a 61% retracement. It's already kind of retraced off of this. 100%, actually, what, 38%, and that's that's a magic fib number if you know anything about that. If you don't, like I said, make sure you watch the video that show you how to set up your read deck and all of these things that I got on here. I'm not gonna change it. I'm not gonna make it simple. You just have to pick it up because it is very simple if you look at it. Um, if you look at the video, that is. But anyways, so it'll start trading on the high side, and we should see some good numbers out of that, and hopefully break out at some point to the 117, and that'll be my next recommendation to take profit. Otherwise, just ride it out. um sounds finally did something. They're up, yesterday they were up 10%. Stock skyrockets 866% in a year. Should you buy or sell? And my recommendation is it's still a buy for me. Still a buy, maybe not as strong as it used to be because it is up here where it's kind of losing momentum, and it likely will pull back. Fairly good support at $15.22. So that might be your next buy point. And if you can see, that's on the downside of this new anchor VWAP here. So I don't see it falling to the 200 EMA. I think we'll continue to ride this momentum, at least for a little bit. I mean, actually, wow, take that back. Spoke, you know, didn't even look at this. Sorry, pre-market it's up 16 to 1636, 37. So yeah, that's a good sign for that talk. We are just talking about talk yesterday, and talk broke out 7%, and actually pre-market it's up to 348, and upgraded to a buy. They were upgraded to a buy by Zacks. Zacks is a lot of people depend on that. I won't say they depend on it, but they put out a lot of guidance, especially if you're a TradingView subscriber. You'll see Zacks guidance all the time. And how healthcare is leveraging. We got some articles coming out. How is healthcare leveraging um, artificial intelligence? So they're playing a big part in that, and they're kind of integrating themselves into that supply chain, so to speak. So talk finally breaking out. Like must have heard me talking yesterday about me losing patience with them. So they finally doing what they're supposed to do. Tesla's up as well. They closed at 392, so they rallied a little bit in the afternoon after I started talking bad about them, as well as the ETF. So that's good signs for them. Apple again is they're down for some reason, but I think that's something to do with China, and China kind of I won't say attacking them, but they sell a lot of phones in China, and not having that ability or having that barrier of tariffs definitely hurts their business. Um, They have launched, and people are. I don't know if you've been seeing on the news as well. A lot of people aren't um, uh, happy. I won't say happy. They're not. They're skeptical about the new update, the 18.3. Supposedly, when you update to 18.3, now Starlink is I won't say attached to your phone, but you have the ability to use Starlink. And like I said, Elon has managed to I think Tesla has managed to separate itself for now from his talking, but Apple being linked to Starlink, I think soured a lot of diehard Apple people. So definitely watch that one and see what comes of that. Um, we got Rigetti. Rigetti is an AI stock that we're in. And we're just gonna ride these AI stocks out. I think these are long term plays. Um, you know, I won't say maybe we should have bought more when they crashed and when the news came out from Nvidia saying that AI is 15 years away and yada yada yada. So I think a lot of people panicked and got out of that and put their money elsewhere. Um, we missed a buying opportunity there. So just wait for the pullback, wait for the bad news on these, and just keep putting money in, keep adding to your portfolio on those. Nvidia is, I look for it to rebound. It has this morning. It's up from the close of 118 to 120 right now. It's at a ceiling here, the 121. So if we can break through that, maybe we can get back to some respectable numbers. It is showing on the upside at the high end 132. So take that for what it's worth. Walmart's also something that you want to have in your portfolio. Um, I wasn't a big fan of Walmart, but one of my partners convinced me on it. I just thought that they were gonna take a bigger hit with the tariff news, but it seems like they're not. Um, I don't know if God people remember they were supposed to be a buyer of TikTok as well. So maybe there's some stuff going on in the background that I haven't researched enough yet. Um, what does it say? Encore has raised Walmart's price target, okay, to 100 from 98. So it's already past the target. They need to get a new target. Meta's got to be in your portfolio. It's at these ceilings right now. See the red lines? It's at these ceilings right now. Broke through the 705 and it needs to break through the 711. But it'll get to 1,000 at some point, and then hopefully it splits and you just get more stock and just keep riding it out. VU, like I said, I was concerned about Vanguard. They're down pre-market, a couple bucks from the 153 close. I'm not concerned, but they're invested in everything pretty much. So what is the reason they're going down? We're gonna research that. Um, we're gonna research that because I seen a few things, but I didn't go really too deep into it. So yeah, so Misty. This is an ETF that we're in. It trades off of Mister, which is MicroStrategies. They're up as well pre-market. A lot. I mean, they're gonna go with crypto. Crypto is down a little bit this morning, as you'll see, but Microsoft is down as well pre-market at 410. But I mean, not too much to worry about there. SoFi is down off of their high as well. Over the last, this month, it's been kind of going down. And I think a lot of that has to do with lower expected revenues because of expected rate cuts and stuff like that. But this company doesn't own any buildings or anything like that where they have to pay for it. It's going to cut into their revenue margin. So I look for them to rebound and kind of be the leader in fintech. And last but not least, we got Cintas Corporation. They've recently, like I said, they purchased their competitor. They're one of the leaders or the largest uniform manufacturer. So hopefully, as more manufacturing work comes back to the U.S., that in that it provides new sales opportunities for these guys or increase sales. So they'll just continue to rise over this year as well. So, and then like I said, we'll real quickly go on deck. Um, Big Bear AI. Like I said, invest in AI. Big Bear is one of my favorites. Um, we're not in it right now, but we will be. I mean, I'm in it personally, but our group will get in it. Super micro computer. You know, people have been waiting for this thing to crash, but it just keeps, right now you see it's trying to break through this ceiling, of $30 pre-market. So I guess the rumor was that they're selling backdoor chips to China, but maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. But Hims, one of my partners, loves Hims. He's made some good money off of it. My only concern with Hims is if um uh Robert Kennedy Jr. gets in, he definitely is going to attack the ability, the provision that gives him the ability to purchase and sell this stuff. He's definitely going to attack that. So be diligent in watching that. Ride it out for now, but be careful. And I was just talking about Lee Auto. Lee Auto went up 5% yesterday, a big jump. And I won't say we missed out on it, but like I said, it was at $22 when we were talking about it. It's up now. Amplified digital, and probably be the last one. Amplified digital, it's up as well pre-market. So a lot of stuff is up. A lot of stuff is up right now. So Rocket Labs, look at that. Rivian's one of my favorites. Get you some waste management. Waste management, especially with the cleanup in California, waste management is supposed to have the biggest contract of all that. They are down pre-market. But like I said, look for a buying opportunity at maybe 2017, something like that. And then PayPal is down as well. But buying opportunity if you ask me. Um, they just released earnings. They beat earnings, smashed earnings. Probably look historically. That's what happens when they have earnings. It goes down, and then people take profit, or take people's money that are trying to get in, and it goes way down, and then people get back in. So definitely in the buy zone for PayPal. And last but not last, actually, I won't even talk about that one. Some conflicts right there. But anyways, that's that's all I have right now for our portfolio and our recommends. Like I said, we're going to be adding some health care to that, and some real estate stock to that as well. But that's all I got for our portfolio. We'll get into some. We'll check out our bangers, our new stocks that we mentioned yesterday when I come back. Yup. We back. We're back. We're about to wrap this thing up because the market is about to open. So I just want to go over um some of the plays, my new plays that I was talking to you guys about yesterday. And the one that's, I mean, like I said, not every play is gonna bang. So like I said, these are my home run hitters. Like throw a little bit of cash out there that you can, you know, part with if needed. But if you want to hit that home run, you know what I'm saying? You swinging for the fences on these. So one of my plays that I mentioned was Alcoa, and this is strictly based on the tariffs and some of the minerals. Sorry, not minerals, but stuff like aluminum that's going to be um you know I won't say hard to find, but it's gonna, what I'm saying, it's gonna be there's barriers. I mean, it's gonna be price is gonna go up. I don't know what any better way to say it. Price is gonna go up on aluminum, but this is something that you need. Everybody needs aluminum. Aluminum is in chips and it's in everything. So Alcoa is a big player in that space. Um, and they had a 6% rise yesterday. Right now they are down off of the close a little bit pre-market, but that's likely people taking profit. This is seemed to be a pretty popular profit taking point at 36.25. So, but it's we got 38 and we have 37 and 38 up here as well. So, pre-market it is down a little bit off of yesterday's high, or yesterday's close, but like I said, buy you some and just sit back and wait for the pop and then get out. Inspire Veterinary Partners. Once again, this was a perfect buying opportunity for you yesterday. And it is up pre-market as well. And up a little bit off of the close of 242, but it's still on the up and up. So you're looking at 318 as a max profit buy here. A couple barriers to break. 277 and 291, but this is something definitely you want to get your hands on and wait for the pop. Like I said, net capital, they're making it easier for people to people to borrow money. And everybody likes capital, everybody likes that. So they're right at this threshold of 212. If they break through there, this could go to $3 or $4. I mean, like I said, all of this is for entertainment purposes only. And I'll throw this disclaimer at the end, probably way too late, but I am not a financial advisor. I'm an entertainer, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Do with it what you want. And last but not least, Thermune Inc. Again, they are in the health technology space, and they are right at this line, 205. They break through there, we could be looking at 220. So that's a 10% jump. So definitely take a look at some of these plays. My size, looks like we had some profit takers at the 231. So it's fallen to 194 ish. So 197 pre-market. So definitely look for this as a buying opportunity. As you can see, the momentum has changed, and it could likely, when it pops, it could pop out of here. It could go to shoot, we could be looking at 350 as a target price, a max target price. But you can see these other lines: 350, 361, 261. That's probably more realistic for you to get out. But don't put too much money on it. And we had some other ones that, like Transcode Therapeutics. They went down on me about 17%, but that's not a lot. We're talking about a dollar down. And they have regained compliance with continuous. So I guess they were delisted, and now they're back on the Nasdaq. So probably a risky play, but it's a play. It could be a home run. You never know. So that's all I got for the news. We got about five. That's all I got for my new plays of the day. And actually, we don't have any new ones. We just checked on the ones we had from yesterday. But anyways, market about to open. So we're gonna sit back, watch Palantir, see what it do. Hopefully, Nvidia gets back on the right foot. And that's a wrap for the day. Peace.